Hello and welcome to AAOL Season 3, Stage 2, the final week of Stage 2 before the finals. This is, week 5, so it's,
Been a while.
penultimate week. It's been a long time, yeah. I'm Queso, and I'm joined with Munchki, who will be doing observing for this game. Oh, goodness, how are you?
It's alright. I spent the last, how long has it been? I think 7 hours making ramen. Like everything hurts, but I'm still here. I'm still gonna do this.
Alright, good luck operating all of the
Oh god.
streaming and stuff, goodness. Alright, so this is
See if my overlay works.
Alright, TG Nevermore against Team 1.
Who do you want to
It's looking
spectate
like-
first? Nevermore? Or do you want to spectate team?
Team 1.
Hello, Rufio. Our stream coordinator on the audio. Well, maybe talk a little bit about their composition going into.
Yeah, so it's looking like we're gonna have
Capture the
quite
objective.
standard compositions on the side of both. We're seeing Team 1 going with the triple tank, looks like.
Triple tank, but also the Orisa Roadhog combination, which has been a favorite
Yeah, absolutely.
because it kind of allows a lot of CC with the ult and the hook. It allows you to make use of fall. But it's so loud.
This initial sort of fight skirmish taking place in that side alleyway seems to be really going into favour of PG Nevermore here. Recycling round to point.
Neither team has really gotten any kind of a definite hold. Like it sort of looks like Team 1 has it, but it's not like TG Nevermore is sort of backing down. They're still maintaining a presence just over the point thanks to the Orisa shield. And at any time a Hulk could come out and pull. Nope, not if the Orisa goes down. And no, he makes it out safe. Perennius makes it out safe.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely sustain it. You're getting a tire coming out from Intel's side, doesn't get anyone. The Fix gets a pick onto DJ Rufio. This could be the chance that TG Nevermore needs to take control of this point. Ooh, not sure what that ultimate's called. Doomfist's ultimate gets 2, and TG Nevermore will begin to control. Is it Seismic Slam? Is that the ability of
I think
Doomfist?
Meteor.
Okay.
Meteor Strike? I don't know.
Yeah,
Well,
that
something
sounds right.
something with Meteor. Sorry, that's the name of like a not so family friendly comic that I'm reminded of.
Alright. Self-destruct thrown out there, doesn't catch anyone. Mechanism falls off the map, I think. Looks like he's lost his footing there. Vix and Versic both fall, and looks like Team 1 are gonna move on to point and the hold. DJ Rufio manages to get 1 and takes down Peronius pretty easily afterwards. Team 1 back in control of the point. Looks like Shifu's just gonna throw out a little damage off, zone them, CC.
So
PYX,
EG Nevermore
Monster
does have
Eye.
the ult advantage here, especially with the Riptire. Which if they open with that, allows them to go in, with a clear and distinct advantage. Which they have anyway, thanks to Doomfist's Meteor Strike.
Manages to get 1, and as you said, that Tyre manages to come in and get another, and they should be able to push the point. Oh!
Bye. Bye, Wizard.
Yeah, hold hook. Sort of like when a Zarya grabs another grabbing Zarya it's just like, you know, what you gonna do when there's so much, you know, CC, the hook, the grab, the mini grab.
It's interesting that Overwatch is kind of headed
Oh,
like tanks and
absolutely.
CC being the sort of most important things, especially with Brigette's shield stun, which is kind of interesting that, you know, neither team seems to be running a Brigitte
Yeah.
when it's sort of been opinion going around that, well, Brigitte is kind of overpowered and you can't not have her anymore.
And it really
Sneaky,
complements
sneaky.
these sort of brawly CC pumps. Team 1 going for a sneaky sort of route underneath, dropping onto point, but it looks like TG Nevermore was all over that, and able to take them down. Blade is popped from Elf and Zed, and just managed to get anyone, but PYX is really bringing the pain with Doomfist. Manages to get 3 before that.
I don't know if you saw that, but
Suicide hook. That was
yeah, that was a beautiful suicide hook, and I learned
my
something
God.
new about
I'm not sure if you noticed that, but Versik just manages to use the whole hog to push the Transcendence Zenyatta and off the point, which is quite pivotal. Varga throws out Mech, doesn't get anyone. Mech Man transcends. But it's Zamundi first to die to Elf and Zed.
I find it difficult to think that TG Nevermore will be winning this, especially that they've
Well,
got.
Shifu jumping off the map may help, but
Nope.
no.
Nope.
The point is Captain Overtime burns down. Team 1 takes the first stage of Nepal. Alright. Moving to God, I'm normally quite good with the names of the stages on control maps, but this one's eluded me. Last one was Sanctum, and then there's Village. Is this one Shrine? Maybe it's a Shrine. This is a good map. There's a lot of opportunities for, you know, to get out heroes like Farah, as we see Intellicide bring out actually. Just as I mentioned, with the Mercy, but again no Brigitte. Team 1 again opting for the tank heavy composition. Looks like they're going to meet in the middle. Elf and Zed dies very quickly on. PYX really bringing the pain with these sort of harassing flank DPS types. And yeah, it's looking like TG Nevermore is just able to really snowball, get that first initial pick, push in, and Team 1 is going to have to retreat out.
I'm surprised that TG Nevermore is doing all this and still maintaining an ultra. This good value is going to see them very well. But most.
Yeah, absolutely. The first fight there, and they already have, you know, an ult up and an ult, you know, 16% off. The ult, the tracer bomb is thrown out, doesn't get anyone, but already up to 30%, so not much of a problem. Intellicide and Versik have their ultimates available. Shifu wants to get in Coalesce, but TG Nevermore is just able to harass and push them back, keep the pressure up, and pretty strong. However, DJ Rufio gets pick onto the enemy Winstead. Elf and Zed manages to shoot down the Farah. Versik throws out a deep bomb, doesn't connect with anything. Mechman really fragging out and manages to destroy Farah off with his destruction orbs.
So, which team do you think has the advantage? Oh well. I think now it's obvious that TG Nevermore does, but
well, Fresh Eggs is down, but that doesn't mean that. Well, yeah, okay. Perhaps it does mean that that fight is over for Team 1.
just a little bit.
Think,
Losing that
yeah, once you
Lucio
lose
kind
that, yeah, exactly.
Rufio kind of has nowhere else to go. It just has to keep his shield up and die with it.
Yeah, you need that speed boost out. High Noon catches
Alright, fair enough.
Mercy, which could open up an attack. Indeed, they push onto point. Shifu unleashes Coalesce. In Hellish side, bit of a panic ultimate possibly?
I don't think it was a panic ultimate. It was a good time to use the ultimate. It just wasn't counting on the D.Va's defense matrix.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was looking a bit dire, but dire for the side of TG Nevermore, but
It's fine. What are you talking about?
being
They
said-
have
that
3
being
ults.
said, They have 3 ults. Yeah,
They
that's
have
true.
5 ults and they're on 98%. They're fine.
Yeah. And
I
by
worry
comparison-
very much for Team 1. They
Yeah.
have to hold this, 5 ults down. They're nowhere close to having any ults until the sort of late game. Here comes the Transcendence. Sticky Bomb earlier, but I don't think it got anyone.
DJ Rufio getting critical there, but Coalesce is able to be charged, but isn't able to keep DJ Rufio up. Wow, that is quite good.
It's actually
control on the side.
it's or maybe not anymore.
It was quite good control on the side of T1 there, managing to like
Rufio and did that change anything? Maybe.
Hamadan. I don't think Hamadan catches anything,
No,
but then gets the D-Mech and the finishing blow on Fargoth. Transcendence deployed for TG
Don't
Nevermore,
have
it's keeping everyone
damage, really.
up. That's just not enough damage from yeah. Lucio trying to keep contest, but Tracer gets the touch. But Shifu,
This is difficult, man. Like with the overwhelming numbers advantage, PG Nevermore pretty much does have this. I'm really happy with how Team 1 held on though. Like it wasn't until was it the 4th art was popped before they started collapsing, before they lost Rufio, before they lost Fresh Eggs. The 2 people who were closest to their ults. I don't know if that was a clever decision by DG Nevermore or a happy accident, but that kind of cinched it for them.
yeah, and they managed to keep really good control of the point, especially because they seem to TG Nevermore seems to really push in, be aggressive, and really just control space on that map there.
One comment I do have is that I am sort of questioning. Oh, well, not anymore. I was kind of questioning why they weren't answering the pharmacy. Basically, they have now with their own pharmacy, and
Doesn't look too good. So it looks quite good, like a good option to go on for that pharmacy. But alas, it seems that TG Nevermore
alas.
unable to. TG Nevermore are very much able
Team
to,
1 is unable. PG Nevermore got the first pick, forcing Fresh Eggs to. Oh, well, they're now off the pharmacy. Well, yeah. PG Nevermore getting the first pick, forcing the res out, and then putting them as in a real vulnerable.
I
It
always
wasn't
find
great.
it curious if a team opts to sort of mirror a comp. So
Why is
they're
Farah?
going to go Farah. We'll also go Farah. It's perhaps like what instead of mirror comp, essentially where the better of the 2 wins, you should go for counterplay. And LFNZ switching over to the McCree is a really good option there. Shifu manages to get Mundi with the Coalescence.
Oh.
TG Nevermore rotating to point and pushing all of the swishy supports right off the point.
Someone needs to deal with Versic. Or Versic Fargoth.
Yeah.
Right. Ooh.
Fargoth is
That match was not long for this world.
Pulse bomb thrown out by PHX, managed to catch the enemy Reinhardt. Seems that nerf didn't seem to affect already injured Reinhardt. And Team 1 is in full retreat, looks like.
They are trying to
Gets demec'd.
leave.
Yeah.
Going well
It's
for them.
great, but not working tremendously well.
This will be Team 1's last push. They do have a fair shot of it. Coalescence and the Earth Shatter are two very, very potentially key ults, but it will depend on if they spot this barrage here.
Well, it does definitely seem as though Team 1 was almost able to get control of the point. However, they were just too fractured. Their Reinhardt charged in, and that left their squishy sort of at the choke, susceptible to IntelliSide's raining justice down from above, which proved pivotal there to split them up.
Oh, it got the D-Mech Fever, which is possibly the worst thing going into a team fight. Not by.
This is quite an exceptional play there.
I don't know what happened. It's a nice. Wow, 30. Someone tried very hard.
Epic. To be expected.
Let's heal it.
Lots of M1ing indeed. It's quite good. 32% is Moira. That's pretty impressive, really. But you know, at the end of the day, that first map I think did favour the sort of more I think what I would consider a more measured play style on the side of Team 1. They like to come into the fights and, you know, make a sort of concerted effort to win them, and then, you know, retreat when it's clearly lost. They play a little bit more defensively, a little bit more, I don't want to say passively, but it's not as aggressive as the TG Nevermore playstyle, which really seeks to control space. And when they manage to, you know, when you get your opposition pressing S, then you know, you have the control of that area, and you can get, you know, picks.
Utilizing that S key.
Exactly.
The untalked about fourth ability of it. What do you think Team 1 can do? Sort of make something of Junkertown. Seeing as well, Pharmacy is probably going to come back from TG Nevermore. It worked so well on the previous map. I don't really see why they do it here, unless they know that Team 1 has. Do you remember if anyone's?
I'm not sure. I did definitely see Elf NZ on the McCree, and I think that can work. And if his skills in that sort of hit scan, long range, or mid to long range hit scan can transfer to Widowmaker, that might be an opportunity for them to flex onto that. In terms of what I'd like to see from Team 1 going into this is that it's that strong defense. It's that measured, you know, consistent team play, and I feel that will favor their defense, and that's what I'm quite keen to see. But then I'd like to see how they're going to match that with, you know, an equally, you know, necessitated aggressive push on attack. TG Nevermore, PYX is looking very dominant. Some great DPS sort of flanking plays, making lots of space, harassing supports, and you know, hopefully on their attack that's sufficient to perhaps undo Team 1's defense.
Which player do you think is key to that happening? Which players are key happening? Yeah.
Well, I think IntelliSide and PYX on TG Nevermore, sort of their DPS duo, if they can really work together for both attack and defense, then there should be a really solid opportunity for TG Nevermore to pick up this second map on Junkertown and claim the series as they're going into this 1-up on from Nepal.
Bring up the overlay. What happens when you get the observer casting as well?
We got all the insights into...
Well, both teams are actually picking up a Widow.
A Widow, yeah. again, no Brigitte. I think
Brigitte can
is
make
just
this
a
a lot.
solid op.
Yeah,
I think
Brigitte's really-
if you have an off tank or a support that's just so angry at the game, I think Brigitte is really fun to play because she's so infuriating to play against. You know your enemy
I know.
is absolutely livid if you're playing Brigitte and just like egg whisking them across the map. You know, like it's so infuriating. You know that they're gonna get quite mad, and I feel like that's a really good option if you just need to, I mean, tilt the enemy team into, you know, yeah, into submission basically. But again, no Brigitte. It looks like,
Attackers incoming in
well,
30 seconds.
I don't want to say standard comp, but it just looks like we're getting an attacking pirate ship-esque.
It's sort of pirate shippy, but you know,
Yeah.
a Risa Roadhog, which we did see very early on stage 1 of
Yeah.
this season of it. Are you in the spawn at the moment?
I am not in the spawn.
They were playing
Two.
what's it like, skipping rope versus speed. Anyway, match start.
Okay.
Best
They've
of
gone out the other door because we've seen a lot of Bastion strats where you set up close to that first door. So good option to not go at main door and be melted by a Bastion. Obviously, someone didn't run Bastion, but it's enabled them to set up on point.
Oh, even better. See,
Saying
Hanzo's
the
new
new
ability
Storm
gets
array,
first
yeah.
blood. Yeah. Have you
quite
had much
exciting.
experience with that?
Well, I
What are we
personally
not
haven't. Oh goodness. Alpha Z gets, doesn't get domed, gets body shot, but managed to be taken down. However, TG Nevermore, he's very much able to keep the pressure up, get key picks, and keep the pirate ship rolling. It's an interesting pirate ship strat because it looks like Bastion is not sitting on cart, which is often a weakness of that strategy,
Fine, they fixed it.
and it's just using it. Well, yeah, you get some Junkrat orbs on you, and all of a sudden you've been detonated. But if you use it to move you forwards a bit, pump out some damage, and then seek a sort of more logical hiding spot, put out that damage without the enemy team knowing where you are. And I really quite think that's a pretty clever play on Nevermore.
Team 1 is doing dive, but it's sort of... Well, they're never getting the opportunity to dive. Like, they're looking for it. They want to dive, but...
There's just so much damage. That's a lot of damage. The Dragon Strike from PYX gets 2, and it's cleanup after that. TG Nevermore is going to pretty much coast straight on to point
Team 1 needs to stop.
3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
8
cart has
minutes.
not stopped. Risa has not left the cart. They need
I
to...
don't think I've seen the Bastion die yet. And this is what I was saying. If TG Nevermore is able to put out a really aggressive play, and this Bastion is as aggressive as I think you can really get against a really slow defensive composition.
Oh.
Wow.
Well, there goes kind of the last hope.
Well, Alpha manages to, I think that was a deflect of the Widow.
It was a deflect, but Mercy's just gonna res it, and kind of can't make up for, well, D.Va being demeched. Now everyone's in front of the Reinhardt and out of position. Well, you only have Moira for a healer, and Moira is close enough to D.Va to stop her losing her mech here. Oh my god.
There's
Yeah, it's-
bodies falling all around the cart. Mechanism is just melting anything that comes in his line of sight.
Oh.
Lucio not even able to drop the beat.
Sterben nicht.
Oh, of course, it was 8 minutes just then, wasn't that? That's too much time for a That's too much time for a comp. So this was a quick play rules. So I feel like someone may have made a mistake in the lobby creation here. At least we get to see this exceptional play of the game. Alright, well I guess we'll be moving on to round 2 with... I don't know how this is gonna work. 7 minutes? Does that round down to...
Something like that.
6
It'll
minutes
probably
supposed
we
to
can
be?
probably. I mean, we're recording, right?
Yeah,
At
that's
least this
we can
happened on a
remember.
recording, so we'll be able to tell who won, after this. But
Yeah. I mean, I'm just concerned if they, if... It's obviously not an issue if, TG Nevermore are able to hold with their defense, and not and deny the 3 cap. But if both teams manage to get those 3 points, then rounds 3 and 4 are going to be quite interesting.
okay, good. Everything. Give me a sec to quickly
Yeah.
update everything.
That was a real
How's life?
technical mishap there. Alright, so we're moving on to what should be round 2 of Junkertown, but is in fact a new game, with TG Nevermore on defense. Or not. I guess it's possible we're not doing that. Alright, we'll see. I feel like this is the time where we need an overlay, technical difficulties, please stand by.
Why haven't we gotten one of them?
Alright. Not 100% sure what's going on, but we endeavour to be bringing you back this exciting game between TG Nevermore and Team 1 as quickly as possible. Bit of a snafu with the custom game rules. But it was fine for the first... Well, maybe it was set to quick play rules and we didn't notice in Nepal because it's a capture point, or control point, doesn't matter that much in that instance, but
The difference between competitive capture point and quick play capture point.
I think
There isn't a difference, right?
I don't think there is, but it's possible. I don't quote me on this, but it's possible that it is to do with the amount of time it takes for percentage points to tick up. But then again, I always thought it was just 1 second, 1%, so it really wouldn't make that much of a difference. So possible there's no difference between those 2 modes.
What do you think of? Well, I don't know. After the Hanzo rework, I didn't quite get footage of it, and I apologize. But Hanzo getting first face of like, what do you think that the Hanzo played by AHX contributed to that first point?
Absolutely. I think the rework has really helped him find his spot as a mid range snipe. So being able to sort of stick with the team, being able to, I can't remember what the name of the ability is. Is it leap or lunge? Yeah, lunge out of sort of dangerous, situations on a fairly decent cooldown, I think. To be able to sort of move. Yeah. To move quite swiftly is really helpful. So
that plus, having walk.
Yeah. We're getting it looks like we're getting a bit of queries on who actually won that second map. But back to clarify, so second map, technically we had quick play rules on for the first round, which was TG Nevermore's attack. And they managed to finish the map with 7 minutes spare, which is a minute extra to what you should have in a competitive rule set. So they would have finished with around 6 minutes in reality. But obviously the concern is then if Team 1 pushes to 3, what happens with TG Nevermore's initial push. So we'll have to sort of see how that goes down.
It's probably going to be a replay if they both team gets a 3.
It looks like the players are making an agreement to say that
they're just going to play the attack.
Yeah, they're just going to play the attack and see if... I feel like that's dangerous. Because then you get to the end of this one, and it's an even more awkward. How do we make this fair? Situation. Perhaps a tiebreak map might come into play. Just to sort of to give a little bit of equity to these two teams that are quite needing this final win. Week 5 of AAOL. These wins and losses do play towards the division finals. Coming up very quickly.
The one team we discussed the prizes.
Right.
So the prize bill is actually higher, much higher than. So there is actually like a, not an insignificant one, but an insignificant amount of money in the prize pool. Why am I stuck on the side of a? Oh, it's beautiful though. It looks like Messina. Anyway.
Despite the fact that we're in Australia,
Despite the fact we're in Australia,
they nailed the African aesthetic when trying to do Australia.
Oh, but that windmill is looks like Have you ever watched Courage the Cowardly Dog?
I can't say that I have, no.
Oh, it was a little like windmill thing, like a little farm out in the middle. It just reminded me of.
Okay.
Just wanted to say that and nothing else in particular.
I'm actually looking at the river out onto the side of the map, and I mean Blizzard needs to work on their water texture out there, because that is...
Oh, come on, it's a background. It's a background.
Pretty bad water texture. I mean, Rialto just came out, and Rialto has pretty decent water. I mean, come on, just patch it in on over this river here, and it'll look delightful.
I'd rather have 2 more FPS than better water. I'll be honest, if they offered better water, I'd turn it off for the 2 extra FPS.
I've played.
Not that I use it. No,
Played Sea of Thieves. Sea of Thieves is all about the water textures. Anyway, let's see what defense and attack is likely. TG Nevermore opting for a Rissa Hog combo plus 2 supports. No Brigitte, which is disappointing. I always like to see Brigitte being engaged.
He's not going to be happy until Brigitte's
really
oh my god.
They're going for a pirate comp, but a pirate ship comp, but they're not able to set up. And Schiffer gets sniped very early on as well. Flush, Bastion goes down. Team 1's Bastion goes down.
I'm really interested in the fact that they have Genji and Bastion as their chosen DPS slots. Yet it's kind of really reliant on the Genji to finish anyone off because
PYX is getting a massive kill there. I'm getting a message that we need to turn off the music apparently.
Is that copyright issue?
Yeah. Alright. That PYX, a fat Riptide, managed to catch 3 and stop Team 1's attack in its track. Looks like they're going to continue to try and run that pirate ship. They're going to try and set up, but with TG Nevermore so aggressive, that hook was pivotal there on that on Fresh Eggs on the Bastion. Pretty much denies that pirate ship completely, and we're seeing Fresh Egg switch over to the Soldier 76. They're changing comp, changing tact. See if they can push the payload in another way. Hammer down from TNT Wizard manages to catch a lot of players, but they don't capitalize. Mechman pulls out the Transcendence. Versik begins going whole hog, pushes everyone back. Zamundi resurrects PYX, who did fall, and looks like TG Nevermore are able to defend, cleaning up DJ Rufio and Fresh Eggs. Really solid defense. Intellicide manages to get a very crucial headshot onto Shifu, delaying their potential attack for another 10 seconds. They're grouping up, they're back together, but Mechman does a right click straight in. Intellicide manages to kill the Dragon Blading Genji, and that's 2 down on the side of Team 1, and TG Nevermore still at full force. Some hooks being traded there, but not much. Little skirmish around the choke, the sort of bridge choke on Junkertown.
I'm kind of amused that Intellicide is playing Intellicide is playing Widow a little bit more like how you'd maybe play a Genji instead. But it's working pretty well.
Playing in really quite good positions. Looks like Shifu is still near point.
30 seconds remaining.
Looks like 2 members yet. Shifu and Fresh Egg.
They are planning something.
Around the side.
It's like they're trying to set up a crossfire.
Oh, I think they're maybe they're controlling that high ground and going to try and maybe push TG Nevermore back. Shifu, bit of a flanking Zenyatta maneuver there. It's going to go through the building to the left. However, TNT Wizard gets an amazing hook. And it's going to be followed up with attack visor from Fresh Eggs, but Mechman brings out the Transcendence, keeping up TG Nevermore. Versic whole hogs, but gets slapped by Fargoth. And oh wow,
Intellicide MVP.
that was a very good whole hog.
It wasn't really a C9. There's so much they could have done.
It wasn't,
Like,
yeah,
covering the
no.
point.
Exactly, not so much a C9 as a yeah. So it looks like they're going to use the score from the previous attack run, which it's interesting because they did get an extra minute on their attack run, because using the previous rule set. But that being said, they finished all 3 points with a solid 7 minutes, which converts to 6 minutes for comp time. So even still, it's a pretty clear 3-0 to the side of TG Nevermore on Junkertown. And that means that TG Nevermore goes up 2-0 in this match. We're moving now to Hanamura for the final map. Let's see if Team 1 can save face and get a map win.
I don't think. I'm real sorry to say, but Nevermore's DPS have the edge. They have free reign.
Yeah.
Through their own powers of intimidation, or through the efforts of their tanks. It just seems like they always have free reign. Team 1 has to do something about that if they want to stay in the running.
Yeah, I completely agree. The tanks from TG Nevermore continually making space, like always pushing forward, always, they basically just got like a weight on that W key, always just moving forwards and really just denying as much space as possible. Obviously, they know their limits. They don't overreach, and they are backed up by their supports. The supports, topping them up continually, making sure that they're well in good health, and because of that, they're really able to just let their DPS. They're creating the space for the DPS to get the picks that they need to win maps, and it's working. So kudos to Nevermore.
Whatever they've been doing.
If I'm hoping, praying that Team 1 decides to run Brigitte for this.
We've not seen it the entire time. What makes you think Brigitte's going to come out right now?
Look, I have hope, because I think that the CC the denial of you know, Reinhardt barriers and you know, and essentially like a right click left click combo. You deny so many abilities.
Well, it could also go a long way into stopping the tanks. Stopping
Yeah,
TG
exactly.
Nevermore's tanks from really taking as much as they
Attackers
still need.
incoming in 30 seconds.
The CC,
Or
exactly.
very or
So looks
I'm
like
not sure if this is some level of disrespect. Oh no, never mind. But we're gonna see a 12 sim. Ah,
it's possible they're gonna run Sim on attack. I have hopes that it can work, but
Sim's new changes haven't made it in, right?
3,
Patch.
2,
Forgive me for having
no,
not played.
Sim I think is not yet even PTR ready. So
Okay.
yeah, in the near future, Team One's defense looks like a standard 2-2-2 with the Orisa Hog combo to try and control the point, which I think may work against this.
Oh, they should dive now. It's kind of now or never.
They do dive in, but Hog, TNT Wizard gets an incredible hook that absolutely melts Versix's mech. Zamundi taken down by Seismic Punch. I'm really bad with Doomfist ability names, but DJ Rufio and TNT Wizard managing to get picks, but also push TG Nevermore off the point. And they're gonna be a minute down. And no percentage on that point.
It's definitely not the first time we've seen Nevermore fall. Looks like they have to really change what they're doing. Did anyone go down this? Yeah. Bargot's noticed. Alpha's noticed. Is anyone else gonna come? No?
Wow, Bronius managed to just jump in and
Yeah.
zap Fresh Eggs to death. TNT Wizard reciprocates by taking Mechanism down. Intellicide snipes DJ Rufio and Shifu gets the coalesce kill onto Smundi. Elfin Z kills both in an uppercut. And it looks like
Not gonna be enough though.
TG Nevermore are going to cap
There's no
point.
way a single hog can make use of it.
No, and he does fall in the end. It took about 2 minutes to cap that point, and now they're checking point B with 6 minutes to go. Should be a decent amount of time. However, Fargoth has got his attack visor up, with the whole hog coming up at 3%, and Bongo is also being quick, whereas the only we got a couple ultimates for TG Nevermore as well. Looks like the pulse bomb. Mechanism taken down. Mechanism taking down, sorry, my bad, Fresh Eggs, very quickly. However, Zenyatta then falls.
I've got you in my sights.
Fargoth opts to attack visor, control the high ground, but Versix flies straight up. Despite that, manages to get the Mercy before he's zapped to death by Peronius, sorry. Elfin Z and TNT Wizard getting the key kills that push TG Nevermore right off the point. However, Versix manages to punish Elfin Z for being a little bit too far out, I dare say there.
It's gonna be a very dangerous point for TG Nevermore decided
Yeah.
not to push through it.
PYX runs in with the Tracer, unless he's switching, which is possible, but that was a really ballsy play to just sort of run in and you know, stagger yourself a little bit.
I think TG Nevermore is pretty much relying on Intellicide to get so that they can push. Yeah, that or they have to dive and create that space for Light to then help, which might be happening right now.
Yeah, PYX and
Got high ground.
Peronius really making use of that high ground, get a key pick. However, Fresh Eggs brings out the Transcend, keeps the majority of his team up. Fargoth and TNT Wizard do die, and now Mech Man gets the counter trance in to keep the attacking side on the point. TG Nevermore capitalizing on that extra healing. However, the respawn, the close respawn advantage favoring Team 1. They're managing to get more bodies onto the point and push Nevermore a little bit back. I think, and they're going to pull a reset. Looks like they're going to, yeah.
Be very difficult in Nevermore to make a push with the set that they have right now. I mean, yeah, okay, Team 1 doesn't have any ult, but it's just enough sticky and a monkey ult. I don't see that being push potential.
That sticky bomb has been
gets nothing.
nerfed, so it doesn't do the full 400 it used to, down 100 to 3, so not as good as getting those sole initial picks. Obviously on squishies, still pretty decent, but for tanks, you know, as a tank buster to create a lot of space, not as effective. Looks like TG Nevermore is controlling pretty well the high ground. Natellicide gets a pick off of
And
the
here comes the dive.
high ground. Dives in, but
It's a little bit off. It wasn't really as coordinated as it could have been. Peronius jumping in there and then, well, Versic following, but not really being able to do anything with it.
lately.
The
Well, there you go.
ult from Shifu is, personally to me, really strange though. He can't really do much with it. And now Intellicide has top right and
Yeah,
is
I'd say
dominating.
Shifu was really
Oh my
looking
god.
forward to using that up there, where he's probably needed a little bit more, but alas,
Oh,
it's down.
Intellicide.
Teleside really getting some little picks there, yeah.
It's not really much.
On the point.
It's not. Yeah, so it turns out that what looked like a retreat from TG Nevermore ended up
Sides.
sort of being a ruse, because they had Widowmaker, Intellicide on Widowmaker up there on the top right, and that entire push was as successful as it was pretty much Intellicide. Like, I think he at least 2 solo kills contributed heavily to 4 and prevented pretty much everyone else from getting on point, as well as jumping on point himself and getting headshot away. Like, did a bit more than everything. No offense to the rest of the team. Yeah.
But Elfenz was pretty much the only member of Team 1 even contesting that Widowmaker. And it's a little bit, not ineffective, but a little bit strange that the Doomfist is the one that is being relied on to contest the Widow.
I feel like they...
Widow can, you know, dome
Yeah.
Doomfist once, and then, you know, no one's contesting that Widow anymore.
You really need to kind of learn to respect the other side a bit. You know, like what you said, you can't just leave a Doomfist to deal with a fairly good Widow.
Yeah.
Yes,
You either need to run
You gotta
your
pay him
own
his
Widow.
respects, man. You gotta assign him slightly more than a Doom.
Exactly. You need your own counter Widow. You
That
need
didn't
your
work
own
out too
monkey.
well. That didn't work out too well for.
Well, we're moving over now to Team 1 attacking. And they're going for a tank-heavy comp with the Moira Lucio.
Defend objective
Whereas Intellicide, sorry, TG Nevermore with Intellicide playing the standard 2-2-2.
Standard 2-2-2 dive versus quad tank. But they're going straight on to point, and this is very advantageous to them because they own all this space.
Yeah,
You see Rufio getting the charge on Intellicide. They didn't lose a single person. I mean, they lost the mech, but you know, machines aren't people.
That right there was, I mean, that's the epitome of, you know, making space by pressing W. You move straight to point. You move straight to point, and yeah, the defending team just is all over the shop.
Honestly, they could turn this into a snowball, and I think they are trying to do that. Everyone's just sort of gaily skipping towards the point, but not quite. No, just waiting for the right hand shield. Still gaily skipping towards the point. They will have the ult advantage if they stay alive for it. Coalescence going out, but they have lost to Lucio early on. Can't really turn this to any kills. Ah, Rufio going down.
That being said, Shifu does manage to coalesce and kill PYX, but it's a very close respawn for the defending team. You know, so while they've got, you know, four on point now, that very quickly becomes 5, very quickly becomes 6, and there's just nothing that
I personally, honestly think that Fresh Eggs on Lucio going down during the initial push in was pretty much what killed it for them. He's 4 tanks, 1 Moira. It's not likely to happen. 1 orb and 1 spray isn't enough to really deal with that, but oh my god,
so
it's
long
so
as they
aggressive.
stay together, possible, but you know, when you're trying to get when you're trying to get kills, you're trying to, you know, move around the point, you're not all together. Moira's trying to expend her healing, and it doesn't go down well.
See 2 members of Fargoth and Fresh Eggs just being so isolated.
Very, very isolated. Not sure what they're doing. So deep in without their, you know, the rest of their team. Basically opens up the door for PYX to get that Dragon Blade out, get a kill for free. And Shifu, questionable coalesce. They've already lost a member, and it's struggling to keep everyone of Team 1 up. DJ Rufio dies?
Yeah, he charged off the side of the map. Yeah, it doesn't bode well. Was not the greatest use of Coalescence. It's kind of alright because Shifu has it up already, you know, 1 tank.
Yeah,
kind of
that's true.
non-stop
Really?
healing. They could go into the if they decide to save it. Oh, come on. 1 tank. So Elf has now hopped onto the Genji. We're down to now triple tank and 1 deep. I think that maybe they're looking for a blade to do this, but meanwhile they should be trying to maybe bait out the other 4 ults from the defending team.
Yeah, well, they have 4 ults of their own pretty much online, but TG Nevermore. All assist.
Oh, it's good, it's good.
Oh,
Too late.
the Diva Bomb gets thrown in up there, and it catches in Teleside. Counter Diva Bomb manages to kill Elf and Zed. Zamunti gets the Resurrect. Rufio fire strikes Mechanism, and he'll be heading back to spawn. Versik manages to take down DJ Rufio and DMech Fargoth, controlling the point. And that's another push. Completely cancelled by TG and Nevermore's defense.
I wouldn't be too worried given that, well, they stomped the first point. They still have a good 4 minutes, 3.5 minutes to try and take it back.
Very true.
It is very well known that Hanamura's second point is much more difficult than first point. But
Yeah, you go from that sort of lots of space, open areas to pretty much fighting on point.
oh,
my
I'm
goodness.
so sorry. I tried to get footage of that. Ran into a wall.
Yeah, PYX gets triple kill with a Riptire, which is pretty good at stalling the point for yet another 30-ish seconds. And that time, you know, they went into this attack with a solid 7 minutes, I believe. Managed to cap the point in about a minute, point A, and been stalled here for around 4. Alright, it looks like they're going for a main door push, Team 1.
Not gonna work too well.
It's not, well, it's...
TG Nevermore jumping down on top of them. I mean, they've walked up to their spawn. They picked up mech, but they have lost Elf and Fresh Eggs for that. And I don't think Shifu was able to... No.
I think if you're
Fair
gonna...
enough.
Transcendence is gonna help, I would say. Keeps the 2 tanks that are on the point alive. Long enough to get a DMech. Looks like Fargoth's gonna be stalled out. No, Fargoth gets the mech.
Should probably
And
leave
he's gonna be able
though.
to fly out.
Should probably leave.
Yeah,
That
that's
wasn't.
gonna be good.
That wasn't the great. That wasn't leaving.
Oh,
He didn't die, but you know, he lost his mech.
I'm not sure where. Where did he lose? honestly, I must have just micro-napped there, because I thought he was heading for the door, and then all of a sudden
Oh,
Steve...
he turned left. He turned left at the door, went down to where the health pack is, and died sort of in the lead.
And that's gonna, well, he should have just backed out, because that's gonna stall out the another attack by having to wait for your, you know, Diva's net to sort of come back. EYX brings out the Junkrat tie-up, gets shot down by a perfectly timed
Cards are good,
right?
Slam is good.
Slam is good, but it gets
It all depends on if Elf can get maybe one more, little bit more value. Hellside kind of needs to go down, and he does. There's only 2 tanks left. It's only Winston and Diva. They could make this work. It really could.
it's possible, but again, this point
Argoff,
is
no! Yeah. Ah, down.
close to getting rematched, but alas, no dice. They do manage to get
One
a
tick.
decent control percentage. They get a tick. And
It's not
they're
gonna be
about
enough if they
50%.
can't get the full point. We are here on second attack. So it's a much better showing though, than what they've been having for the last 2 months.
Yeah.
A really
They
aggressive
became-
quad player. Very, very nice.
More aggressive has
yeah.
really helped
30
them.
seconds.
Just hope that they can sort of muster a bit more of that aggressive confidence. Maybe get onto point. They kind of just have grab and nothing else, but you know, hopes and dreams.
They throw out
Hopes
the
and
grab,
dreams.
that's great.
Yeah!
But it's no good.
What are you talking about? It's great. It killed 3 people.
10 seconds remaining.
Oh, the Zen trance didn't help.
Oh yeah, the trance didn't help, no.
Yeah. The
This
grab
could be
was,
it.
on point.
This could definitely
This
be
is
it. They need to look left. They really need to look
Here
left.
it goes.
But it's too late anyway.
Complete.
Oh,
that
that was
was
wholly
big.
unexpected for me, I'll be honest.
Score.
Honestly, that
Be a draw.
is good. It could. Well, yeah.
You're disappointed.
Look, I honestly think that if they had switched one of their attacks to the Brigitte, they would have had that control point P done super quick. That Brigitte
Ah.
feeds off of being next to tanks and pressing M1. Absolutely heals everything in a nice big radius. Hit A to heal your squishies. You know, you don't need to peel for your squishies because you've got that very powerful armor pack.
Got stun,
And
got
shield bash just
shift,
is
got everything.
broken.
Well, they've recently patched it, right? Where they've reduced the cone down from
Yeah,
90 degrees to 60
well,
degrees, so you actually do have to look at what you want to bash now.
Attackers.
Yeah, you don't have to sort of just exist in the general vicinity.
You
Yeah.
have to sort of share the local environment with your target. You have to actually
Yeah.
look at them.
It's down from a small kilometer radius to a 900 meter radius of effective right-click range. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty fair. It's not much I can say about that. Really.
Right.
4,
So
3,
Other side of the
TG
wheel
Nevermore.
breaker.
1.
TG Nevermore needs to get 33%
Defend
to win.
objective A.
This is gonna be a
map.
very hard sell for Team 1, especially because IntelliSide's gonna have a lot of opportunities that Team 1 doesn't really have an answer to. I guess they have Hanzo,
Yeah,
but
they have Hanzo, and I think Hanzo with his rework has been made a lot more effective at dealing with widows because of that Storm Arrow essentially just being a snipe. You
Storm
can-
Arrows, Scatter. It's not Scatter, sorry, it's Sonic. Oh god.
Yeah, and
IntelliSide-
Sonic be coming out all the time too.
It's trying to get that pick on Rufio. Waiting for the shield to drop.
Coordinated dive, backline. Backline tanks though, which was an interesting place to stand, but they
Oh,
do
God.
succeed. They get the D-Mech.
Shifu going down is pretty bad.
Yeah. Shifu, I'm just wondering where Shifu died, right at the choke, not here.
Yeah, right at the choke.
Interesting spot to be standing there.
Freshx
And,
has been keeping up though.
Sterben nicht.
Now it's Valkyrie being
Ah.
deployed, keeping all of Nevermore up on the point, and the Diva Bomb dropped to point.
Rufio needs to contest. He really needs to contest. I think he's only just realized this, but it's too late and he gets pushed out into
Unfortunately,
his
yes.
death.
Yeah, what was that? They think that was Diva Boot.
It was Devo Boop.
Very, very strong showing from
Play of the
TG
game.
Nevermore.
Gets
Oh, well.
PTG as a consolation prize.
Consolation prize is that play of the game. That was quite good.
Oh, this was where they won point one.
Absolutely, that was a quite strong quadruple tank attack.
I don't really know what happened for that last push. I expected Intellicide to do a lot more. See, tribute. Maybe I'm just blind.
He
But-
did get the pick onto the Moira, so you know he managed to incapacitate some element of the Team 1 healing, and in the end
Most of their healing.
Yeah, well, the majority.
The large majority of the healing. But I honestly think it was it was the dive onto Eva by TG Nevermore, and was it Moira that was with her? And just the other 4 members of the team just backing up onto point, and then the 2 of them staying up there and still continuing to fight, and Fargoth just losing his mech. That kind of was really bad. And then
Yeah.
Shifu died. So yeah, I think honestly
Shifu-
that dive onto those 2 was the decider. That
Yeah.
particular.
Shifu was very much too far forwards. I would suggest, and
I think he was trying to
in
keep
the end,
Fargoth alive. Shouldn't have. I don't know what was going on. Maybe it was like a conscious decision, a little bit of miscommunication, but yeah, Fargoth could have just shifted away. Whereas
exactly.
you don't really get the same thing with more. You kind of do, but you don't get the same
significant a
distance.
movement.
You have to jump.
Well, in the end, TG Nevermore does manage to get that final 33% and go up 3-2 in Hanamura to take the series 3-0 against Team 1. Really good showing from the side of TG Nevermore. Very aggressive, assertive plays, lots of creating space by their tanks and DPS that really followed up. And everyone kept up fairly successfully by their supports. And in the end, they walk away with the victory. Well deserved.
Well played. Well played. Well deserved.
Yeah, that is the end of, I think, regular season for week 5.
So we'll be moving on to our final stage.
Yeah, for the Division 5 at least. But yeah, we've still got Division 2 and Division 4 games being played
yes,
in
we
half
do.
an hour.
I have to
And,
quickly go eat noodle.
Yeah. Alright.
Alright, well, you wanna sign off?
Yeah, I guess I'm off to play a game, so best of luck to all the teams, and I'll see everyone next week, I assume. So,
Yeah.
I've been Queso, and signing off.
Bye.